My name is Debbie Archer, and I'm delighted to have with me Beata Karpinska, who is the Vice President of the Swedish Testing Board and also an active member of several of the SSTB working groups. Welcome, Beata.
Thank you.
Beata, we've got 5 questions to ask you. If I can just kick off with, how did you start your career in software testing?
I have university degree in both informatics and as well in information and computer sciences from Stockholm's University in Sweden. And actually in the middle of 90s, it was a long time ago, I worked as information analyst at the corporate finance department of a bank. My ambition was to become database developer. And it was exactly 2000 I got to work at the Swedish product company as database developer. During my first day to work, my boss suggested that the best way to learn company's fund management system, which we developed, is actually to start testing its functionality. Mm-hmm. And it was also the time when that company wanted to start a new testing group. I found this very interesting and was a great opportunity for me, as I already had experience from quality-related work. And I had also experience in build testing, not testing, but organizations, which I did at corporate finance, where I worked before. So I said yes to my first 6 months. From the very beginning, we were 2 testers, but after my colleague left the company, I stayed alone with a growing testing profession, growing responsibility, and actually growing interest in testing from the management, from the company's side. So it was really big challenge for me. And beside that, testing seemed to me interesting, but with a lot of challenges, tricky and fun. So the structure I have learned from informatics helped me a lot to sort out the ad hoc way of working with which I met at the company. I read testing books, attended in testing events. Then suddenly I was asked to write my own testing course and run it for my colleagues and also customers. Mm-hmm. That gave me really extra kick to develop myself in this area. But after 6 months, because we had agreement with my boss wanted me back to the development team. But I asked him that I would like to stay in this testing group and continue to develop myself within testing, which was really very motivated me. And it's actually my main focus until today. So 2000, I started my career and adventure with testing. And testing actually taught me a very important thing. It was to see the whole picture and the holistic way of thinking.
As a woman, did you find there were more barriers or challenges to your career in testing?
I would say in generally that first steps are always difficult. So in the beginning, it was tough, but very quickly I learned that it's all about the knowledge, to be professional, and it's also the will, what I would like to achieve and to dare. And to make the testing work visible for managers, because I noticed that they showed a lot of interest in testing, and give them the value, to show them the value which the company can get from testing. Mm-hmm. And most important thing also, stay positive. Let my thoughts linger on my successful achievements, not on the defeats, because we know in everything is life going up and down. So focus also on milestones and set to what you would like to achieve in the future.
You've sort of covered the next question there to a degree, but I'll ask anyway because it might trigger some other thoughts with you. You've had a successful career as a leader in testing. What are the main factors do you think that have helped you to achieve this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I worked actually in mostly male-dominated companies. For example, when I started at the first company, we had only 4 women, and it was over 60 men. So I think that in male-dominated areas, women believe often that they are expected to behave like a man, but it's not truth. We need to be as we are. So it's important that we do not put any artificial masks on our faces and try to pretend what we really not are. So this is very important, to be ourselves as we are. Even if you work in men-dominated areas, so men enjoy frankness, clarity, and they are actually not any isolated islands. And this, I don't know how to say, the woman way, the woman view is important to add into this world. Women also, not always, but usually wants to work one-on-one. But when men like to work in teams, so it's important to be a part of those teams, build teams together. The men I worked with appreciate my structure way of working and this holistic way of thinking, to see the whole picture. When conflicts pop up, so it's also important to be forward looking, positive. How do you want to solve it? How do we move past this? So this continuous improvements, lessons learned, is very important, and this is also very appreciated. Don't blame people, and don't let people blame you. This is important, to be this professional person.
Do you think there has been a more positive shift towards equality in the workplace?
Of course, as tech and information booms along, the opportunities increased for everybody. And again, the question is to there. I think the basic characteristics are determination, believe in ourselves, that we can do things. Then energy is also important, flexibility, positive way of thinking. There are challenges, but the most important is, okay, how we can solve the problem. There is always a way to go forward. And don't be afraid to go forward. Believe in yourself.
So some final words of advice perhaps from you, Beata, for women who are keen to have a career in testing, whether it's young women starting their career or women who are thinking of a change in career. If you can just share some final thoughts, that'd be wonderful.
Knowledge is foundation. So education, training, mentoring and coaching are main pillars. Then it's important also that schoolgirls, college girls get to know that they can have the future in all testing areas. Testers, but test managers, technical test analysts, test analysts, test automation. They can work in test automation, performance testing, pen testing, infrastructure related technical testing within server and networking. It's up to your interests and ambitions. So it's only imagination which can put your limits. And then it's important that as a girl, young girl and young women, you are not alone. We all have the responsibility that we need to show this, that exclusion, isolation, harassment, leaders not seeing talented women have a potential is not accepted, which means that our voice together, we must be heard. Then women have sometimes, unfortunately, invisible works or invisible positions. And that's why it's important that women see other women in senior roles, because it shows them the value of diversity, visibility, and that girls can have equal access to these strategic roles, strategic projects, strategic positions. Yeah, so what I would like to say, how to summarize. So keep your testing skills relevant, up to date, long life learning, network with your colleagues. We are here. And don't let your tester curiosity die, because this is also very important. And I think this is something we share, all of us, all women in testing.
Thank you so much, Beata. Lots of positive and insightful words there, and truly, as well as a dear friend and inspirational woman in testing. Thank you, Beata.
Thank you, Debbie.